For your chance to win the WWE Royal Rumble 2014 DVD or Blu-ray, watch the video until the end to find out how to win. Alright guys, Tom here and welcome to a new video, and today I am reviewing WWE Wrestlemania 30, which came from New Orleans in Louisiana. Yes, today I am reviewing WWE Wrestlemania 30 years in the making, Wrestlemania 30. In this video, I'm going to go through every single match, review it, everything I loved and hated about the show. There's so much to talk about. Buckle your seatbelts. It's going to be a very big ride in this video. It's going to go for around an hour, so sit tight. You're going to love it. Everybody always does. I review every single WWE pay-per-view. I usually review every single Monday Night Raw, but I always get the chance to review every single WWE pay-per-view around an hour after the show. I get it uploaded to YouTube, and everybody loves these reviews. So, of course, you've got to subscribe. You're going to be missing out if you don't subscribe, because I do a review of every pay-per-view. How can you surely you can't miss that. It's fantastic. I have a great time on here. People get down in the comment section, talk about what they loved and hated as well. It's a really good time. Also, can I get 500 likes on this video? 500 likes, can we do it? The big one. This was Wrestlemania 30. Can we get 500 likes on this video? That would be fantastic. I'm also so close to 25,000 subscribers. I've just hit 23,000 just as soon as WrestleMania started. Around the first hour, I hit 23,000. I was buzzing. Can we get 25,000? Surely we can do it in the next few weeks. That would be absolutely amazing to get 25,000 subscribers. But this is the big one. This was the event I was looking forward to for what it seems like since SummerSlam. This was really the event I had my eyes on. WrestleMania 30, the 30th anniversary, the 30th birthday of WrestleMania. This really was the event I've been looking forward to for ages and ages and ages. Last year, WrestleMania 29 was a huge disappointment. I'm not gonna lie, guys, I wasn't a big fan of WrestleMania 29. The card was weak, was never a fan of the WrestleMania 28 main event. So to have it all over again with a really poor card as well, it was just a terrible WrestleMania. One of the worst I have seen live. But WrestleMania 30, the card was a little bit better. I was looking forward to it a lot more than I was for WrestleMania 29. And I'm sat here after the show, very surprised about a certain result which happened. But all in all, a very good, solid WrestleMania. I did in fact enjoy this WrestleMania. Sorry, I do have a cough, but yes, I did in fact enjoy this WrestleMania quite a lot. A very good pay-per-view, solid pay-per-view from start to finish. Definitely some great highlights, some great ways you can span off this. WrestleMania is always the turning point in feuds. It's definitely a key moment in feuds and in the year of WWE. So WrestleMania's just finished. Next night on tomorrow night on Monday Night Raw, we can get some fresh new feuds. This really is the turning point in the year, the turning point for feuds, the end of feuds. So really, I'm excited to see what the future brings for WWE, because I definitely think with the results that happen tonight and the things which happen tonight, there's definitely a lot of ways which we can look forward to for WWE in the next coming weeks. But of course, we've got to start talking about the pre-show. I had a bit of a rant about the pre-show on my live stream predictions yesterday on Saturday night, 7 PM. I always do a live stream predictions, but a lot of people got on there. There was around 10 people on the show. And really, we were surprised that the kickoff show had been changed to the pre-show. What's the haps with that? Now, in the last few weeks, I think it's nearly coming up to a year when they started calling it the kickoff show. I believe it might have been Payback 2013 when they started calling it the kickoff show, I believe. But for WrestleMania 30, they decided to go back to its roots and call it the pre-show, which was quite a surprise. I was kind of confused why they've gone back to the pre-show name. I never really understood why they call it kickoff. Kickoff sounds like a soccer game, a football game. I call it football, but a lot of my fans will watch it, and Americans, so we'll call it soccer. But kickoff just sounds like a football thing. It has nothing to do with WrestleMania. You don't kick off a match. You just don't, there's no ball. It just didn't make sense having a name kickoff. So I definitely think pre-show, to have that name back, is a lot better than kickoff. But I know it's just a name, but it was just something I wanted to mention, that WWE is now calling it the pre-show. I'm not sure if this was just for WrestleMania, but they might carry it on forward. But pre-show is definitely a much better name than kickoff. It just doesn't work for wrestling. Kickoff, just get it out there. We don't like it. Pre-show sounds a lot better. But this was a 2-hour pre-show. Yes, 2 hours on top of the 4 hours of WrestleMania 30 we had to watch. Now, we didn't have to watch it, but 6 hours of wrestling. Yeah, I think 3 hours of Raw is enough. 3 hours of a pay-per-view, I think by the 2.5 hour mark, you're getting a bit tired. So, to have to sit through 6 hours... I mean, WrestleMania is 4 hours anyway, but 6 hours? It's a bit much. It's a bit of a drag. I think 4 hours of a WrestleMania is a bit much anyway. I think 3 hours of a Raw is a bit much. I think maybe even 1 hour and a half of SmackDown sometimes is dragging a bit too much, but 6 hours of WrestleMania. Did you like that? Did you enjoy the 6 hours of WrestleMania? Did you watch the whole of the 6 hours of WrestleMania? Did you? I know I did, because I don't like to start watching something halfway through. I don't want to start watching in case I've missed something. I don't feel like I can't settle into watching Coronation Street or Doctor Who if I start watching it 5 minutes in. I just can't settle. I feel like I might have missed something important or something like that, so I always end up watching it all anyway. But 6 hours, forcing myself to watch a 6 hour show is a bit much. God, this cough is really, really bad. I'm gonna have to get some water in a minute. But yeah, 6 hours. Did you watch it all? I did watch it all, regrettably, because I was very, very tired after the end. And for the first 2 hours, I really didn't get anything which I didn't know already. Now, the first hour of the pre-show was streamed all over different platforms. It wasn't on YouTube. Now, it was on YouTube for people in America, but it wasn't on YouTube for anybody else, which they call themselves a worldwide company. It's called Worldwide Wrestling Entertainment. Yet their live stream on YouTube was regional locked to North America, which kind of defeats the point of calling it WWE. It's not worldwide if you're going to do that. And what's the point of putting that restriction on? I mean, the whole point of the pre-show in the first place is kind of basically free advertisement. You can show as many promos as you like. You can talk about as many matches as you want. People are going to tune in anyway, as long as you've got a match on there. Now, the first hour didn't have the match. They said that on Raw, they said it on SmackDown. The first hour of the pre-show didn't have the match. It was the second match, and that pre-show for the second hour was exclusive to the WWE Network. Now, the first hour was pretty much... They had different people on. They basically swapped it around a few times. I think they had a social media ambassador on. They had Booker T the whole way through. They had Alex Riley for a bit. They had Shawn Michaels. They had Trish Stratus. They swapped it around a lot. They had Josh Matthews, of course. For the 2 hours, they did swap it around a bit, which did mix it up a bit. I mean, sometimes you have to sit through an hour or a 30-minute show of the same people talking. I mean, it's scripted anyway, but the fact that you've got the same people talking about the same thing over and over again, it was nice to switch it up a bit by having different people come on every 10 or so minutes. But the biggest rant I wanted to get off my chest was that the first hour really didn't have anything. It really didn't have anything to make you tune in. There wasn't a match on there. There really wasn't anything. It was really just promos. It was promos to advertise any match they could think of to basically sell the show. Now, I know it's all about making money. I know it's all about... They're a business. They want to make money. But the first hour really didn't have a draw. There wasn't anything to make you tune in. And it was pointless because I want to see the ratings on this because there really wasn't anything to make you watch. I just really couldn't understand the concept of the show for the first hour of the pre-show. They really... They just showed the promos that they've been airing for the last few weeks on Raw and SmackDown and WWE.com on their YouTube channel. There really wasn't anything making me watch the first hour. And it just felt like they wanted it to be 6 hours. Something Vince imagined. He wanted it to be 6 hours. And he wanted a 6-hour show, so he needed something to fill up the first hour. It really didn't seem like there was anything there. And I didn't understand why people would tune in. Now, I tuned in anyway because I'm doing a review and I wanted to see if I would miss out on anything. But I didn't. I ended up minimizing it and just listening to the audio because there really wasn't anything there to make me watch. It was nothing. If you just put Big Show dancing for an hour, would have entertained me more than what was on here because I'd seen everything they were showing. And the interviewing they do is scripted. They're not personal thoughts. They're fake thoughts. They're people Shawn Michaels talking. It's not what he's saying. It's what Vince is saying to make you buy the pay-per-view. Now, nobody listens to them. Nobody's going to watch the promos because they've seen it so far. The first hour, pointless. I really didn't see the point of it whatsoever. Now, the actual point of the pre-show was the match. That was on the second hour of the pre-show. But what I said was, that was exclusive to, yes, the WWE Network. So anybody living outside the USA technically can't watch the pre-show. Now, I know you can stream it, that's what I did, but technically nobody can watch the pre-show, the second hour pre-show, if they technically don't live in the USA. Now, you call yourself a worldwide company, but you're restricting possibly, what, 70? I don't know the stats on this. The 70% of your fan base from actually watching the first match of the show. Now, yeah, I know it's on the pre-show, but you're still restricting a good proportion of your viewers from seeing a match. I mean, you want all your viewers to be able to see everything. That's the point of the WWE Network. It's available anywhere for anybody to see, anybody to watch. Yet only American people could watch it. Now, I know you could stream it, everybody did on Twitter, but technically, they're a worldwide company who's supposed to provide entertainment to anybody who can reach it. And they didn't do that. Now, the other rant I really can't understand that I'm going to bring out here is the business aspect of this. Now, I said earlier that the pre-show is free advertisement. As long as you've got a match on there, people are going to tune in and they're going to sit through the promos. They're not going to care because they know they get a free match. It's free. Yeah? The pre-show's free. Well, it was until they brought it onto the WWE Network. It was free. That was the whole point of the pre-show, that people could watch a match for free and get a sense of what the pay-per-view was going to be like. But it's now on the WWE Network, which you have to pay for, $9.99 a month. But the also biggest downfall of that idea was that you had to have the WWE Network to watch it, and you had to be in the USA to watch it. Now, that restricts a lot of people from watching it. So the free advertisement that you usually provide to people on YouTube and stuff. So basically what I'm saying is, usually when people watch on WWE.com or YouTube or however they watch the free pre-show, WWE can show promos and stuff because people are watching it. They're watching it for the match, but that means they can show promos through the show on the pre-show, and that's basically free advertisement to them. But the fact that they're only letting the second hour of the pre-show for WrestleMania 30 on the network means less people are going to watch it, so less people are going to see these promos. It's less advertisement. It's less free advertisement for the WWE to show. And the biggest problem is you're not allowing, what, 70% of your viewers to see a match. And this was a tag team championship match. It wasn't just a, let's say, a Sandow versus Ziggler from TLC. This was a championship match. This was a match which goes in the record books. This is a meaningful match. And the fact that a lot of your viewers can't even see this match because they don't have the network, or they have to pay for the network, is a huge problem. That it's usually free, and the fact that for WrestleMania 30, the big one, people have to pay to see the pre-show, and a lot of people can't even pay to see it because they're not in the region you're allowed to watch it in America. So I want to see the stats of how many people actually watched the pre-show. The first hour, pointless. The second hour, a big disappointment because you can only watch in the USA. You have to pay for it. And hardly anybody would have seen it. Now, the actual match. Let's get on to the match. I've talked about the interviewers. They're fake. I really don't listen to them anymore. It's all about the match. People watch the pre-show for the match. The match was a tag team championship match between the Usos, the Real Americans, Los Matadores, and you also had Ryback and Curtis Axel. So this match was for the WWE Tag Team Championships. Now, it was a fatal four-way match, and they turned it into an elimination fatal four-way match. So pretty much like they did at Survivor Series, which was actually a very, very good match. I remember it had Cody and Goldust. You had, I can't remember. I can't remember who it was. It was Rey Mysterio and Big Show. Was that Survivor Series? I believe it was Survivor Series. Was it TLC? I don't know. I just remember an elimination fatal four-way match, which was fantastic. Very good pacing. Lot of great spots. And what I love about a fatal four-way match is it seems like they've picked up this idea in the last year or so of having a fatal four-way tag match. They used to have it a lot in the old days, but it seems like they've picked up again. They picked the idea back up again. Now, what I like about these matches is you're bound to have a favourite in this match. I mean, you've got 4 teams in there. Sat a fan in the arena or at home, you're bound to have somebody you like. I mean, you're bound to enjoy this match because there's bound to be a team that you're going to enjoy watching in this match that you're going to get behind. So it's a win-win situation. You've got a match which people are going to like. And you can't lose with this match. I mean, it was basically a good idea. I mean, it definitely wasn't a match that was going to be on the full show because it had zilch. It had zero build towards this match whatsoever. The Usos are far more superior than any tag team in this match bar the Real Americans. I mean, they're far more superior. They're above everybody else in the tag team division. Of course, they've got the tag team championships, but they're really above anybody else. They really haven't been challenged whatsoever since winning them championships. So the title was never changing hands. They just really wanted to get the tag team championships on the show. And they threw it on the pre-show. Now it's good that it's actually on the show. Whether the fact that the tag team championships being on the pre-show degrades or downgrades the championship is another question. Now, on the Royal Rumble, I was surprised it was on the pre-show because I believe it was a big match. It shouldn't have been on the pre-show. It should have been on the actual pay-per-view. But the fact at WrestleMania 30, 2 pay-per-views after, and the tag team championship is on the pre-show again. Definitely downgrading the championship a lot. It's a world championship, and it's being defended on the pre-show. Very, very downgrading of the title. This title's being held by the greats. You've got like the New Age Outlaws, Rock and Foley. I mean, it's a big championship, and the fact that it's being defended on the pre-show is a big disappointment. I mean, it's a big championship. A lot of greats have held this championship, and it's on the pre-show, which is it's a big problem in its own right. But I'm glad it was actually defended on the show. I mean, you've got Big E and Dean Ambrose who didn't defend their titles on the show, so it's not all bad. At least it got defended on the show, but it being on the pre-show definitely downgrades the actual championship. But talking about this match, you're bound to like everybody in this match. It's a win-win situation. The elimination fatal 4-way idea is great. Very, very fast-paced. Some great maneuvers during the match. You just don't get bored during this match. Something's happening all the time. It's fantastic. I love this match. It was a very good, solid match. Now, what I wanted to talk about was that the Usos winning the Tag Team Championships in Chicago on the 3rd of March 2014. Yes, I do remember that date, funnily enough. I don't know why. But, yes, the Usos won it in Chicago. And I always thought that the Usos winning the Tag Team Championships was a WrestleMania moment. It had to happen at WrestleMania 30. It had to. It was a big moment. It had to happen at the showcase of the Immortals WrestleMania 30. Imagine the crowd. Imagine the moment of the Usos winning at WrestleMania 30. Anything less than that would have felt like you'd ruin the moment. And I thought them winning on Raw ruined the moment. It just didn't feel like it just didn't feel like a tag team. For a start of titles changing on Raw is a huge problem anyway. I don't think it feels special. But I think that they'd waited 4 years. It was certainly a WrestleMania 30 moment for it to change on the show, on the WrestleMania 30 show, not on the Monday Night Raw. The Usos have waited so long for this. It should have been at WrestleMania 30. Sadly, it wasn't. Huge shame, huge downfall. So for them to go in a pre-show match for their first title defense was a little bit of a disappointment, because a month ago I suspected they might probably actually win the tag team titles, but they're actually ended up defending it on the pre-show. Now, this match was pretty good. It had Los Matadores having a good, outstanding performance. I mean, they did some moonsaults. You did the middle rope. Like, it was kind of like a lion salt by one of the Los Matadores, but he did a spin in the air, which was cool. They did a dive outside the ring, both of them. They tossed El Torito onto all the other competitors. It was just a great moment, a really cool few moves that Los Matadores did. But inevitably, they were going to be the first team to be eliminated, because it just felt like they had been thrown in this match. I mean, they wanted to make this match special, so they put 4 tag teams in there. But I would have been keen with the Usos versus the Real Americans. I think it was WrestleMania 30 that felt that it needed some way to make it special. So what they did was they added 4 tag teams into there, and Los Matadores certainly were the least big out. They were the least biggest out of them. They just felt a little bit out of place. They really weren't as over. I mean, Ryback and Curtis Axel still are over, but they still seem more of a legitimate tag team. Los Matadores just seem a bit comedy. They just felt a little bit lost in this match. They just didn't feel like on the caliber of certainly the Usos and the Real Americans, and you could even say Ryback and Curtis Axel. But they got eliminated first, of course. They really were the least threat to the Tag Team Championships. So, Swagger tossed one of them off the top rope and catched him into of course, the angle lock, and made one of them tap out. Pretty cool maneuver to toss them off the top rope, and Los Matadores were finished. They obviously weren't winning this match. They were definitely first to go. Now, what was great during this match was how over the Real Americans were, and especially Cesaro. The crowd were very, very keen on Cesaro winning this, well, Cesaro and Swagger winning this match. They were really keen on both of them doing well in this match. The crowd were over Cesaro's section, everything like that. They were just all over it. They ate it up. It was great. It was just a great moment to hear such a great reaction for the Real Americans and Zeb Coulter. Whenever they went for the "We the People" chant. Fantastic. It was so loud. Definitely a WrestleMania 30 moment. But what I wanted to say was that I was quite surprised that the Real Americans managed to end in the final 2. Now, what happened was Cesaro eliminated Ryback with a neutralizer. I was freaking pumped. I was marking out for a neutralizer. Yeah, I was at home going, holy shit, a neutralizer, because the crowd was so good. The crowd made me into this match. I was energized. I felt it like I was there. One weird thing I felt was that Cesaro and Swagger were wearing some kind of like gold kind of elbow pads on their attire, but so was Curtis Axel. It kind of looked a bit strange that they all seemed to have like the same kind of attire. I forgot about that, but yeah. Cesaro hit the neutralizer on Ryback, and I thought that meant surely Cesaro or Swagger, the Real Americans, were going to lose. I knew it. It just wasn't changing titles on the pre-show. The Usos waited so long for the championships, they were never losing in their first title defense. It wasn't happening. So, the fact that Cesaro and Swagger and the Usos was going to end the match was inevitably going to get some heat on the Usos because they would have to pin either Cesaro or Swagger. It had to happen. They had to do it, and they were going to get booed either way. So what they should have done was keep Ryback and Curtis Axel in there. They eliminated the Real Americans. That would have got some good heat for the Ryback and Curtis Axel. They really don't get a reaction, so any kind of heat they need. That if they eliminated Cesaro and Swagger, they really would have got a good heat. That would have been some good reaction for them to put over their heel persona. And that would have put Cesaro and Swagger out of the game. End it with Ryback and Curtis Axel against the Usos. So when the Usos pin either Ryback and Curtis Axel, they won't get booed for that. But the fact that Cesaro and Swagger were so over, the crowd wanted them to win. The Usos had to pin either Cesaro or Swagger. They were going to get booed. So it was bad booking. They should have thought about the fact that Cesaro and Swagger were going to get a good reaction from that European crowd. For them to have in the final two was good because it had a good reaction from the crowd. I mean, it was a good spectacle. Usos versus the Real Americans, pretty cool. But it got a bit of heat on the Usos, who have been struggling to get over in the last few weeks because the fans have started to realise the Real Americans are the real deal. And the Usos really haven't felt special in the last few weeks. They struggled to get a reaction, and the feud with the New Age Outlaws really didn't help anyway because the New Age Outlaws were mixed between faces and heel. Who were they? It really didn't help them at all. And the Real Americans, Cesaro took the pin, which was a huge surprise considering what happened later on in the night. I think Swagger should have been the one that took the pin. Don't know why they didn't do that because Cesaro's going to get a push after this. He's definitely getting a push after this. So for Cesaro to take the pin, there was a double splash, which was a cool ending. But Cesaro taking the pin, big mistake, guys. I don't know why they did that. That really wasn't a good idea. But what happened after the match was Cesaro went for a handshake with Jack Swagger because pretty much Cesaro speared Jack Swagger by accident after Usos pushed Cesaro into Swagger. Went for the handshake and then just went for the Cesaro swing in the middle of the ring. The crowd were going mental, and that's your face turn for Cesaro. He's being given that push. Go for it, Cesaro. You can do it. That's his face turn. We're going to find out on Raw what's going to happen with Cesaro. Well, that's Cesaro's face turn. All in all, a pretty good match. The ending was all about Cesaro turning on Swagger, and I'm interested to see what's going to happen between Cesaro and Swagger. Quite disappointed that didn't actually happen on WrestleMania. I thought a few weeks ago Cesaro and Swagger was almost going to happen. It was almost certain it was going to happen. So for them to be thrown on the pre-show was a bit of a disappointment. But after the match, for us to see them breaking up and Cesaro to turn face did kind of leave a good taste in my mouth. I was happy that we're actually going to see it in the end. Would have rather seen it on WrestleMania, but, you know, not everything happens at WrestleMania, of course. But the Usos retain their title, and they're going to go on for a long, healthy, good run. Thanks, I mean, they deserve it. They've waited 4 years. No surprise they did, in fact, defend their titles. Bit of a shame Cesaro took the pinfall, and the fact that the Usos got some unneeded heat because they had to pin Cesaro. Maybe Ryback would have been better if he was the one pinned in the end. I don't know. What do you guys think? I'll give it a 7 out of 10. Solid pre-show match. Nothing too special. I mean, it's nothing you wouldn't expect on a Raw, maybe. Nothing too special. It was a pre-show match. Tag team title match. It was okay. I mean, it wasn't the greatest tag team title match. You will see. Now, WrestleMania started with the Hulkster Hulk Hogan coming out. Then Stone Cold. The crowd went wild. And then they went even more wild when The Rock came out. It was just a great moment. 3 stars who really made WrestleMania what it is today. Hulk Hogan, The Rock, and Stone Cold. Ending with them having a few beers with each other. It was just a great moment. They didn't even need to say anything. The moment was made as soon as all 3 of them were in the ring. I really didn't listen to what they were saying because I was so busy marking out at how good this was. The rumors were that The Rock wasn't even going to be at WrestleMania this year because he was too busy with a movie or something. But the fact that Stone Cold and The Rock and Hulk Hogan were in the ring at the same time was absolutely incredible. What a way to start off WrestleMania 30. We had an okay pre-show match, but we started off the pay-per-view with 3 iconic stars in the ring at the same time. Iconic moment, fantastic, loved it. Didn't end with a stunner, which would have been pretty cool, but really, you can't go wrong with starting a WrestleMania with Stone Cold Steve Austin, The Rock, and your host of WrestleMania 30, Hulk Hogan. I'll give that a 10 out of 10. Just a special moment. It really was. The stars which made WrestleMania what it is today. A great moment. Wow, loved it. They didn't even need to say anything. It was already made by then. So what a great way to start off WrestleMania 30 by having Hulk Hogan, Stone Cold, and The Rock. Now, the first match was Daniel Bryan defeating Triple H. Yes. 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 Daniel Bryan, yes, defeated Triple H. What a good way to start off WrestleMania 30. Now, you would have said this was probably down, maybe further down in the card, maybe a later match, but you need to think that you needed Daniel Bryan to recover from this. You also needed the crowd to be rowdy. You needed the crowd to be into the show first. I mean, it's a closed arena. The crowd's going to be loud anyway. How loud could they make it? And having Daniel Bryan versus Triple H, first things first, to start off the show, was a great way to start off the show. I mean, it really was. The crowd were into it. They loved it. It really just had a great reaction. And I really wasn't into this match a few weeks ago, but kudos to WWE for making me into this match. I really didn't see myself buying into this match at all. At one point, I was like, I really don't want to see this match, but when they added the stipulation to be in the triple threat match, I was more into it. But the build, week by week, made me more interested in this feud, and it really was the best way to start off WrestleMania. They've been building this up from SummerSlam. It really was the match to kick off WrestleMania. Whether or not they should have saved it until the end really shouldn't come into your mind, because it really made the crowd into it. It was the iconic moment of starting WrestleMania. I mean, you have Hulk Hogan, Stone Cold, and The Rock, then followed by one of the biggest matches in recent years, Daniel Bryan against Triple H. What a great way to start off WrestleMania. And that really that really kicked off the show. I mean, it really got the crowd into it. It really was a positive way to start off the show. Get them yes chants going, get everybody happy, get a few beers down you. It really was the best way to start off WrestleMania. I really couldn't think of another match which was deserving of starting off WrestleMania. This was the backbone of WrestleMania, Daniel Bryan against Triple H. It wasn't going to be in the main event, of course, so why don't you kick off WrestleMania 30 in the best way possible? The match itself was pretty good. I mean, I think if they had a second match, they could definitely make it better. It certainly wasn't the best Daniel Bryan or Triple H match you're going to sit through. By that, I mean, it's not the best Daniel Bryan match you're going to see, and it's not the best Triple H match you're going to see, but it was a solid match overall. Stephanie McMahon introduced Triple H. He came in this amazing WrestleMania 22 attire, looking like a freaking badass. He looked like a king. But Stephanie McMahon played the heel so well. She was at ringside, just banging on the ring, egging on her husband. It was just, she just played the heel character so well. The storytelling was brilliant. It really, really was. She was at ringside, egging on her husband, booing Daniel Bryan, playing with the crowd with the yes chants. She introduced her husband, just playing that power couple. Such a great character these two play, really, really well. But it ended with Daniel Bryan picking up the victory on Triple H. Now, the match itself was quite so placed. Very, very methodical, usual match by Triple H. A lot of punches in this match. I mean, it was a slow-paced match, which really isn't a Daniel Bryan match. He likes them fast-paced matches we've sit through for many, many years. So, it was quite a weird match to sit through with Daniel Bryan. So, I was quite disappointed in this match. I thought it definitely could have been a little bit better. Certainly the match to start off WrestleMania was this match, so I wouldn't complain too much about it. It was a good way to get me into the show, but it could have definitely been better. I saw there was room for improvement, and it was quite a slow-paced match, but really, Triple H looked fantastic. I'm on about, he looked great. His ring shape looked great. He really did look great. And the match itself was quite slow paced, could have been better, but Daniel Bryan got the win. What a way to kick off WrestleMania 30, to get the crowd involved, looking forward to that main event. They were already hooked by the time Stone Cold, etc. came out. But they were even more hooked after this match. Who thought a clean win was going to go to Daniel Bryan? You wanted him to go in the main event, the triple threat match, with a big win. I thought it could be a bit of a botchy ending, a banana peel ending. But no, it was a clean win. A clean win in the middle of the ring with the running knee on Triple H. 1, 2, 3, no questions asked. It was a clean win by Daniel Bryan. What a great way to go into the main event of WrestleMania 30 with a clean win over Triple H. I thought they might be a screw job ending. No, a clean win. Really not predictable whatsoever. I honestly thought we weren't getting a clean win. So what a surprising way to kick off WrestleMania 30. Good way, loved it. Could have been better, the match itself could have been better, but great result. Anything less than Daniel Bryan winning here would have been a huge way to really disappoint fans. I mean, what a shit way that would have been to kick off WrestleMania 30. I mean, the first match, and no way they would have done that. I mean, everybody in that Superdome or Silverdome was packed in there to see Daniel Bryan win the championship. And if he wasn't going to be in it in the first place, what a bad way that was going to start. So it was predictable, but I did like how it was clean. I'll give that an 8 out of 10 because we really have been building up that to from SummerSlam, and it was a special match. Now, The Shield defeating Kane and the New Age Outlaws. Not really a lot to say about this match. I mean, very, very quick match. It only lasted around, what, 3-4 minutes? I mean, I went to the toilet and it had nearly finished. I mean, it really was all about the Shield. Kane and the New Age Outlaws really didn't get any offense whatsoever. Now, I really wasn't into this match anyway. It just didn't seem like a WrestleMania 30 match. It felt like maybe a Raw main event, not a WrestleMania 30 match. The crowd really were dead for it. They really didn't react for it whatsoever. And they really didn't react for it whatsoever after the match because it was just such a quick match. If you blinked, you would have missed a majority of the match. I mean, I really wasn't into this feud anyway, so the fact that it didn't take up a large chunk of the WrestleMania 30 show was good. Because if it went for 10-20 minutes, it would have been a waste of time because it really wouldn't have interested anybody. Nobody really was into it. The fans weren't really into it. Nobody really talked about it. It really was like the weak match of the show. So the fact that it was fast and really put over the Shield was certainly a great positive. Another, should I say, the third 3 out of 3 very good results of the show so far. The Usos just cleared the house. They pretty much took out Kane and the New Age Outlaws. No question, no moves hit by the New Age Outlaws or Kane. I mean, this is pretty much their first match being face at a pay-per-view. So they needed to make an impact. What an impact to clean house with 3 big stars, the New Age Outlaws and Kane. What a great way to put over 2 talents, 3 talents of the Shield. They have a great future. What a great way to kick off their future with a second WrestleMania win. And how fast was it? I mean, they hardly batted an eyelid. They hardly broke a sweat. How good is that to put over the Shield? Basically, Roman Reigns speared Kane, then speared both of the New Age Outlaws, and then all 3 members of the Shield gave a triple powerbomb to the New Age Outlaws. Sorry, a double powerbomb to the New Age Outlaws. Well, a triple powerbomb, but to 2 of the New Age Outlaws. What a great way to put over the Shield. But really, I'm going to sit here and say I'm disappointed that it wasn't a proper match. It wasn't a full match. No, because I wasn't interested in the feud in the first place. And I thought the whole reason why they did this match was to put over the Shield. Kane and the New Age Outlaws' job was to put over the Shield. And what a great way to put them over in quick succession. I mean, that was so fast. It puts them over so well. It didn't take up a lot of time. And also, the New Age Outlaws, that'll probably be their exit now. I think they killed the tag team division when they picked up the belts. So just get them out now. They really aren't doing anything. I mean, I think we've all lost that nostalgic feel now. Feels like they're just there. They're just kind of in the way. They're kind of taking up time, getting a cheap pop with their usual, what we've seen for the last 20 years. It just seems like they're sticking around when we really kind of want to see them go and then come back later on. We don't want to see them stay and then kind of get bored with them, because that's kind of what I'm feeling right now. And Kane, the character's dead. Nobody really cares about the New Age Outlaws or Kane anymore, so it was all about the Shield and them getting a win and carrying on their careers in the WWE. The Kane and the New Age Outlaws, nobody really cares about them. A win really wouldn't have benefited them whatsoever. It was all about the Shield, and I'll give that match a 7 out of, I don't know, an 8 out of 10. I think it puts over the Shield very, very well, but it was short, which it can be seen as a positive and a negative, whatever way you look at it. Cesaro won the 30 Superstar Andre the Giant Memorial Battle Royal. Disappointing that the 3 superstars which were announced before the show weren't surprises. I believe the surprises were Cesaro, Yoshi, Tatsu, and I can't even remember who it was. It obviously wasn't a surprise. God, I can't remember who it was now. Cesaro, Yoshi, Tatsu. Oh, it was Xavier Woods. Yes, it was Xavier Woods. So, really not a surprise, the last 3. I mean, it could have been RVD, it could have been Evan Bourne, it could have been Alexander Rusev, it could have been Hogan, it could have been Rock, could have been Stone Cold. Yeah, they might not return just for that, but it could have been. And then they throw it away and not really make it a special moment. It just felt like they dropped the ball at the last minute with the announcement, because they didn't even announce it. Now, I went to the toilet and all of the superstars were pretty much out there, except what, Sheamus, Big Show, all the big top stars, Del Rio, etc. Pretty much, if you were in the ring by the time the top stars came out, you're pretty much a failure and you're not going anywhere in the WWE. But let me talk about Cesaro winning. The match itself isn't something which really felt WrestleMania-ish. Without Hulk Hogan or his statue at the end to commemorate Andre the Giant, it felt like just a normal Monday Night Raw match. And what people need to consider is the Battle Royale. People are just waiting to see who wins. There's never any good wrestling in these Battle Royals. There's never any memorable moments except to Kofi Kingston. There's never anything really good. It's just superstars thrown in there to fill up a bit of time. We're all waiting till the final 3 or 2. We're all waiting to see who's winning. We're not really watching it. So anything that happened really wasn't anything WrestleMania-ish. It really was a bit of a waste of time. I really wasn't into it. The crowd were dead because the Shield match was so fast, ended so fast, kind of sucked a little bit of air out of the crowd. And this really did as well, because they really went into it. I mean, for a good, what, 5-10 minutes, you're just waiting to see who's going to be the final few superstars, because you don't really care who's eliminated at the end of the day. You care who's standing tall at the end, and you can kind of pick who's going to win by seeing the last few superstars. But apart from that, you really don't care what happens beforehand. So I've never really been a fan of Battle Royals. I really haven't. But the fact that Cesaro picked up Big Show in kind of Hulk Hogan style, like when he picked up Andre the Giant at Mania 3 in front of, what, 96,000 fans? The crowd fucking loved it. They went, holy shit, Cesaro's picked up Big Show exactly like Hulk Hogan did to Andre the Giant. The crowd just stood on their feet, and he did it with ease and tossed Big Show over the ropes. Now, Big Show for some reason was going in there as the favourite, because they booked him looking as the favourite. But for Cesaro already to be in the match earlier in the night, and then enter another match, and he wasn't even booked to be in that match, and win, toss over the Big Show, that just sounds bad, but pick him up, right? Pick him up with ease, the crowd going mental, picking him up, tossing him over the top rope. Just a WrestleMania moment. The fact that he'd already had a match earlier in the night puts him over so well. Like, how much energy does this guy have? He came out of nowhere. Very, very unpredictable for Cesaro to win. Great WrestleMania moment. And he's now turned face. And what a great way to debut his face turn by in the same night winning. Yes, winning a WrestleMania 30 Memorial Battle Royal commemorating Andre the Giant. You all thought it was going to be Big Show. You thought it was Rusev. You thought it was Mark Henry, Carly. You thought it was going to be a big guy to commemorate Andre the Giant. But Cesaro is strong, guys. And that's another way to commemorate Andre the Giant. He's also from Europe, which does kind of relate to him as well. Also, Big Show wore his old attire from the ECW days to commemorate the Andre the Giant attire. Of course, they have the same attire, which was something I noticed. But Cesaro winning, the trophy kind of looked a bit naff, actually. It looked way better on the promos. I actually thought it was going to be a statue of Andre the Giant, but it was actually like a box with a little figure of Andre the Giant on. But Cesaro winning puts him over so well. What a great way to debut his face turn by winning. And the crowd loved it. The crowd loved it. They ate it up so much, and it was just a great WrestleMania moment. One of those huge moments you get every year for Cesaro to win. Wow, loved it. I'll give it an 8 out of 10. If it wasn't for Cesaro winning, it would have been the worst match on the card, because the Battle Royale matches, never been a fan, but Cesaro winning, it was a great moment. I could see that. It was a really, really cool moment. Great way to start his so his first WrestleMania match. I believe it is his first WrestleMania. Oh no, it wasn't, because he had one earlier in the night. But that's his second WrestleMania match and his first WrestleMania win. And it is rumoured that he's going to be the biggest star, one of the biggest stars coming out of WrestleMania 30 next to Bryan. What a great way to start that off, really, isn't it? And I was surprised he won. Not predictable whatsoever. Good move, WWE, to kick off Cesaro's career, really. John Cena defeating Bray Wyatt. Not really a lot to say about this match, really. A pretty good match. The crowd was singing, "He's got the whole world in his hands. He's got the whole world in his hands," whilst waving at Bray Wyatt. Magical. You only get that at WrestleMania 30. How good was that? I had goosebumps. I told my girlfriend about it. She laughed. This was a great moment. It really was. He's got the whole world. It is us. He's got the whole... It was just... Would you imagine that was going to happen? No. It's just one of those weird-ass things that happen at WrestleMania. Who'd have thought it would have happened in a John Cena and Bray Wyatt match? I have no freaking idea. But that was just a weird thing which got everybody's attention. But John Cena defeating Bray Wyatt was a huge surprise. Bray Wyatt is possibly the greatest character WWE has created in possibly the last 5 years. And for them to feed him to John Cena at WrestleMania was asking for trouble. I thought it was a lot to ask for Bray Wyatt to get a clean win, but I certainly thought he was going to get a win. I thought, he's getting the win, but it's a lot to ask for him to get a clean win. Maybe the Wyatts would distract Cena, something like that. But I never thought Cena was winning. Was I dumb to think that? Probably. Did I think Cena was winning? No chance in hell. I thought the fact that they'd built this Bray Wyatt guy up so well with his promo, he fucking got everything. He's had the 2 best matches of WWE so far in 2014. Royal Rumble against Bryan and against The Shield. Perfect opponent for John Cena. The perfect way to put Bray Wyatt over as well. His first WrestleMania match, and it's against the freaking face of the WWE. You've got the best character they have in the WWE in the last 5 years, and he needs putting over. Well, maybe he doesn't need putting over, but he needs this win. He can't suffer a loss. He can't damage this character. He's done well to survive almost a year as being the same character. He's a great character, but the fact he's already lasted a year is good. But to give him a loss at WrestleMania 30 against the top star? No! You could quite easily kill the gimmick of Bray Wyatt. You're risking killing Bray Wyatt, the character. You really are risking killing Bray Wyatt by giving him a loss to John Cena. Why did you have to give the win to John Cena? There's so much more left in this feud. If Bray Wyatt won, you could have guaranteed you had one more match left in this feud. John Cena wins, he's pretty much the good guys won. There's nothing else for him to do. There's so much more juice in this feud. But no. John Cena, Super Cena won. If John Cena wins, we Wyatt. Well, he fucking won. And it was just a predictable ending. Sister Abigail reverts into an AA, gets the win. Yay! We've seen it for the last 12 years. John Cena defeating the odds and winning against Bray Wyatt. Why did you have to give John Cena the win? Yeah, I know he's lost his last 3 pay-per-view matches, TLC, Royal Rumble and Elimination Chamber, but Bray Wyatt's young. He's an up-and-coming star. The crowd were so into Bray Wyatt. They didn't care about Cena, but yet they gave Cena the win. Yay! We don't give a fuck about you, Cena. It's all about upcoming young stars. They gave the Shield the win. Kane and the New Age Outlaws put over the Shield. John Cena, he got the fucking win. What they're going to go do with Cena? They're going to use Cena the same way they've used him for the last 12 years. Yeah. Why did they have to give him the win? Because they're not going to do anything different with John Cena that they haven't done for the last 12 years. Bray Wyatt's just starting his career. He needed this win. It was his big moment to show what he could do. And he lost with an AA out of nowhere. The most predictable ending. I say out of nowhere. The most predictable ending you could have imagined. And I know it's not predictable because I didn't think John Cena... I didn't think they had the cheek to give Cena the win. Surely they can't be this dumb to damage a superstar like Bray Wyatt by giving him a loss to John Cena. But they did. I'm clearly pissed off, guys. You can understand. I can't understand why they'd give the win to Cena. What are they going to do with this guy? There was so much left in this feud. Bray Wyatt's new. He's upcoming. It's his first WrestleMania match. Surely it was all about Bray Wyatt. Bray Wyatt's been controlling this feud. The story was that Bray Wyatt's in the head of John Cena. But yes, John Cena got the win. Now, the story during this match was quite good. John Cena thought about using a weapon a few times because he thought in the back of his head, I can't win against this guy if I don't use a weapon. Of course, he did in the end eventually win without using a weapon. But the story was that he was thinking about disqualifying himself so that he could end Bray Wyatt. Now, that obviously wasn't happening. They're not going to do a moment like that at a WrestleMania match. But that was the story through the match. It was very gripping. I was actually quite engaged with what story they were trying to tell with John Cena. Very interesting. And the fact that Bray Wyatt brought a chair into the match to tease John Cena even more was absolutely fantastic. Now, John Cena got the chair, whacked Luke Harper around the head with it instead, and then Bray Wyatt looked like he was going to go for the Sister Abigail. I thought that was going to be the ending, but then he slipped into the AA and hit it on Bray Wyatt. Now, the match itself was pretty good. Now, it wasn't the greatest match you will see, but it was a pretty good match. Now, I've seen a better Bray Wyatt match, for example, with Daniel Bryan, but it was one of the better Bray Wyatt matches you will see. A very, very good match. I have been in awe. I've been so surprised how good Bray Wyatt is in the ring. And I thought John Cena was the perfect opponent because he had a great match with Daniel Bryan at SummerSlam. He had a great match, good match with Del Rio. He had a good match with Austin at TLC and Royal Rumble. This guy does put on good matches, so I thought it was going to make a very, very, very good match. But it was a good match. It wasn't a very, very good match. I think if Bray Wyatt won, it would have been slightly better, but it wasn't a fantastic match. It was a good match, but not amazing. I mean, I think it'd be hard to pick out the best match of the night because they were all good. There wasn't really a very, very good match. Usually on a pay-per-view, you usually have one standout match. I don't think there really was a standout match on this show. It just was a good match. And I did enjoy this match. There were some cool spots. Example, when Cena jumps off the top rope onto Eric Rowan and Luke Harper instead of deciding to jump on Bray Wyatt. That was a pretty cool ending. But Bray Wyatt was completely in control of this match. That was the story they were telling. They wanted to show you that John Cena was out of his depth. John Cena was he was struggling. He was struggling to cope with Bray Wyatt. Now, that does put over Bray Wyatt quite well because he pretty much controlled this match. He got in the head of John Cena. John Cena didn't like it when Bray Wyatt was on his knees. He said, get up, get up. John Cena didn't feel in control. That was the story they were telling. So it did put over Bray Wyatt quite well, because he pretty much controlled a majority of this match. He controlled a lot of the pacing. He was the one that hit most of the moves. Most of the moves John Cena hit were, well, his 5 moves of doom. So for John Cena to use his 5 moves of doom and still defeat Bray Wyatt, it makes him look quite weak. I mean, John Cena really didn't come out of his element. He really didn't use a special move. He really didn't use anything out of the ordinary to defeat Bray Wyatt. So it really doesn't make Bray Wyatt feel special. It doesn't feel like he really needed to do anything good to defeat Bray Wyatt. He really didn't get a lot of offense. And the only offense he did was his same old moves. He really didn't do anything else, anything WrestleMania-ish to defeat Bray Wyatt. The ending really just felt dead. It was just a typical John Cena ending match. Just really didn't feel like a WrestleMania ending match. I think the crowd were surprised for a start off that, wow, I really can't get over the fact fucking Undertaker's streak's over. I'm still I haven't even mentioned that yet. Wow. I'm thinking about that now. Like, let me just get this over and done with. It's been on my mind the whole I really wanted to save it until after this, but really, fuck. No, I really can't. I don't really know what the hell happened there. But anyway, John Cena against Bray Wyatt just felt like a dead ending. I think the crowd was surprised as much as I was, and Twitter was, that Bray Wyatt didn't get the win. I really can't understand what they're going to do with Cena now. I mean, what are they going to do with Bray Wyatt? I mean, what can they do with him? I mean, he's just lost to John Cena. How can they recover from a loss to John Cena? What would have been the problem with Bray Wyatt getting the win? I mean, the crowd was so into Bray Wyatt. They were freaking singing, he's got the whole world in his hands. Now, why were they singing that? Because they're into this gimmick. They're into this character. He's over. Give him a win. Come on, give him his first WrestleMania win. Now, I've kind of contradicted myself there. I'm saying he's over. Give him a win. Did he really need the win? Well, it was his first WrestleMania match. Did he need the win? Yeah and no. I don't know. Did he need... It was his first Mania match. The crowd were into him. It seemed like the way to go. It seemed like Cena was putting over Bray Wyatt in a perfect world. Did he need the win in the end? We'll have to see in the next few months. But what they did to Sandow, where Cena buried Sandow, and look where Sandow is now. I don't know where Sandow is. Was he in the 30-man Battle Royale? Don't know. He wasn't memorable. If he was, that's my point, really, guys. Will they regret not giving Bray Wyatt the win? I don't know. I hope they don't, because I love this Bray Wyatt character. I have a feeling, maybe not. I have a feeling this guy is going to survive for a very, very long time. But can you risk that by not giving Bray Wyatt the win? I don't know. The match itself, I'll give it an 8 out of 10. It was okay. It was a good match. The ending did kind of feel not satisfying, though. It just really didn't feel, yay, Cena won. I mean, if it was a good ending, I would have been like, oh, Cena won. That's all right. But the fact that it ended how most Cena matches end, not really in an exciting way. Like, it's supposed to be exciting, but the fact that it's happened so many times with an A out of nowhere, it just doesn't feel exciting. But yeah, 8 out of 10. And the next match was, wow, I really don't want to talk about it, because I'm looking at my video now, and it's got 123 likes and 221 dislikes. That video was a result video of the Brock Lesnar versus Undertaker match. This is going to get so much freaking publicity, because even my dad, who's never watched WWE in his life, he watched wrestling when he was younger, but not WWE, knows who The Undertaker is. He might not know who The Streak is. I'll ask him tomorrow. But the streak's over. Like, I'm just going to pause for a few seconds now. The streak's over. Like, we come year after year expecting a good Taker match. A good streak match. We wait until the Raw after Elimination Chamber for Undertaker to return and build this iconic moment, this streak match, where somebody may defeat the streak. But now, we're never going to get that ever again. We're never going to go into WrestleMania thinking about an Undertaker match. We're never going to buy a WrestleMania thinking, could the streak get defeated? We're never going to go to a WrestleMania event to see The Undertaker defend his streak once again. We're never going to remember Undertaker is undefeated. WrestleMania was all about the streak. It really was. It was a huge part of WrestleMania was the streak. And now, what, 2 hours ago, 22 years in the making, has just been ended. 2 hours ago, 22 years of wrestling, of The Undertaker WrestleMania has gone. I mean, just 3 seconds, a pin, and 22 years of storytelling, work, booking by the WWE. This guy sells WrestleMania, and now the streak's gone. It's magical how much of an impact that really has on a lot of wrestling fans. People were so pissed. I mean, it went 1, 2, and when the second F5 hit, I was like, if Brock Lesnar wins here, I'm going to fucking scream my head off, because I'm a huge Lesnar fan. And the streak, I didn't know if it was going to get defeated ever. I didn't know. But when that third pin went, when he hit that third F5, I was like, surely Undertaker's not kicking out of a third F5. I mean, 2 F5s is quite a lot. It downgrades the F5 if he's kicking out of the second one. But when you hit that third F5, I was nearly standing. I didn't know if Undertaker had it in him to kick out. If he kicked out of that third F5, it really wouldn't have felt realistic. So when he hit that third F5, I knew it, but I didn't know it because I didn't want to admit it. I still don't want to admit it, that the streak's over, guys. I mean, how weird is that? Like, I've grown up watching The Undertaker, watching these matches, and I've just said it now. The streak's over. I really can't believe I'm saying them words, that the streak's over. I mean, a few hours ago, the streak was intact and now it's gone. 22 years in the making and it's gone. It's just really weird. Really, really weird. And they chose Brock Lesnar to defeat the streak. Wow. I mean, when the third pin hit, everybody in that arena stood up and just booed. This is the opportunity to keep Brock Lesnar in the WWE. Is he going to go back to the UFC after WWE giving him, the only guy in history, 22 years, defeat the streak? He's the only guy that's won the Undertaker at WrestleMania. Is he going to go back to the UFC after WWE's given him that win, that huge win? Quite possibly one of the biggest wins you could get ever. The only thing he hasn't done in his career, apart from win the World Heavyweight Championship, was defeat the streak. And he's done that. This is their opportunity to create the biggest heel we have seen in a long freaking time. You get instant heat when you defeat The Undertaker at WrestleMania. Did you hear that crowd? They were booing so much. Everybody just stood up and booed. They booed through the Divas match. They killed the crowd versus the main event. That's how big Undertaker's streak was. You've just given the biggest heat, the biggest boos, the biggest heelish gimmick you could to Brock Lesnar. He's the guy who defeated the streak. How over is Brock Lesnar now? What could he do now? He really can do anything. This is their opportunity to create the biggest heel they can do. It really is something they could do. I thought they could do it with Punk last year. I thought if Punk won the streak, the storylines they could do would be immense. But now Brock Lesnar's the guy that won the streak. And he's a beast already. He's one of the top heels already. What could they do with this guy? That really, I don't know. It feels like he's done it all. Was he really the guy? I mean, since he's defeated The Undertaker, I really can't see any other guy that he really needs to beast or conquer. Like, you've now created this huge heel by defeating the Streak, but really, how can you use this heel anymore? It really seems like he's done everything except win the title. Really? Could they do that? I don't know. But you've definitely created one of the top heels ever by defeating the Streak. I never thought I could say that, but the Streak's over. Oh my fucking god, the Streak's over. It's incredible, but the match was sloppy, which made me wonder: are they ending the Streak tonight? It was never really a full thought, but the match was sloppy. There were so many breaks for Taker. He was so tired. He barely got any moves whatsoever. Very, very slow paced. Not really entertaining. I mean, his last few Mania matches, he choreographs because he's not got a lot left in him. And if the Streak was going to end, it's going to be in the next 3 years. Or 5 years or whatever. But for it to end tonight, in a match which really wasn't built up well. I went into this match saying, well, Brock Lesnar hasn't even been built up well to feel like he's defeating the Streak. I mean, the only thing Brock Lesnar did was F5 Undertaker last week on Raw. And when they first had a stare down a month ago, the only thing Brock Lesnar did was shove the pen in Undertaker's chest. That's really the only offense he got on him. Apart from that, really, Lesnar wasn't booked strong going into this match. So did you really believe that he was defeating the Streak? No chance in hell. That was the one doubt I had across my mind. I tweeted it. Lesnar was going into this match as the weak guy. And it felt like they wanted Undertaker going into this match with the most momentum as possible to get ready for that loss. Now, I didn't say it because I didn't think it. Because I just thought it was bad booking. It was in the back of my mind. Maybe that's why they're doing it. But really, I'm not going to sit here and say, oh, I knew it, because I didn't know it. I really didn't. I never thought the Streak was ending. I really didn't. But I thought maybe they were doing that to make you think that the Streak's ending. Maybe they're making Undertaker go into that match with the more momentum because they're going a different route. Every year you see Shawn Michaels, you see CM Punk, you see Triple H get in the mind of the Undertaker and have more momentum, way more momentum than the Undertaker. And every time he kicks out of around 3 finishes and wins in the same fashion. This time they went a different route. They had Brock Lesnar going with the most momentum, with the most power, with the most prowess. It was a different way. It was something different. Something different we haven't seen from Undertaker. Really, have we seen them build an Undertaker match at WrestleMania like that before? With the competitor, the guy that's supposed to break the Streak, with less momentum than the Undertaker. And I thought to myself, that's quite strange. But I only thought they did that because to make it more unique. And also to make you think maybe he's doing it. Make you think, yeah, once again, maybe the Streak's getting defeated. But once again, he comes out on top. But they didn't make Brock Lesnar go into this match strong. So when he defeated Undertaker a few hours ago, it didn't feel, well, I can't say it didn't feel special. I mean, I had a few people even tweet me saying, do you think that ending was supposed to happen? Yes, of course it was supposed to happen. Undertaker didn't forget to kick out. The only reason why it didn't feel normal was 1, the crowd reaction. They stood up, they booed. 2, I can't even count. 2, the Streak's not meant to be broken. The Streak shouldn't have ended. It's too big. It's too big to be ended. It really is. I really feel sorry for Undertaker. I'm a huge Lesnar fan. I was marking out. But it shouldn't have been ended. 1, the crowd reaction. 2, you just didn't expect it to ever end. So it did feel weird. It did feel like it shouldn't have happened. But people complain at the WWE for having predictable matches. Did you freaking predict that Undertaker streak would ever end. And did you think Brock Lesnar was the guy that was defeating the streak? No, because he went into that match with the least amount of momentum you could have given a guy. How unpredictable was that match? That was the most unpredictable match I have seen in my life. And I am so happy that I watched that match live. Because the goosebumps now, that when that third count, it was just a freaking special moment that the streak has been defeated. I mean, I really can't comprehend how huge that is. Really weird. I mean, wow. The match itself was sloppy, but you're gonna forget about the match. It's all about the fact that Lesnar has defeated the streak. Lesnar of all people. Now, a lot of people said Bray Wyatt or a young upcoming star would be a one to defeat the streak, but somebody who defeats a 22-year streak needs to be big already. Because it just wouldn't make sense for somebody to defeat a 22-year streak if they've hardly had any experience and defeat a 22-year experienced veteran Undertaker. Also, the guy who defeats the streak needs to be over already. Because if a young star defeats the streak, you see how much heat Brock Lesnar got. People are going to resent anybody who would have defeated the streak. But Lesnar's job is a heel. You're supposed to hate him anyway, but somebody who defeated the streaky young star would have just got hate. Not heel hate, hate. And it would have damaged a young upcoming star. Also, somebody who defeated the streak needed to be over as well, to make you actually believe like it's legit. I mean, you can't give somebody who's not over. You can't give somebody a win over The Undertaker at WrestleMania to make him over, who needs to be over already. Because that's The Undertaker. I mean, he's not just going to get defeated by a young upcoming star. And Brock Lesnar was the top heel. I mean, Orton and Batista have lost their way in the last few months. Brock Lesnar was the top heel. He was the guy right now to defeat the streak. And he already was over. And you've now got a top heel. Now, a lot of people were saying Batista was winning in the main event because that's your opportunity to create a top heel. But in the same night, you've created the biggest heel you might possibly create in the WWE and the biggest face you might create in the WWE in two separate matches. You could have made your top heel Batista, but you wouldn't have given the win to Daniel Bryan. But doing this, you've created Brock Lesnar, your top heel, and your top face Daniel Bryan in two separate matches. And that's a good way to do it, isn't it, obviously? Because you wanted to see Daniel Bryan win, but you also needed a top heel. You've done that with Brock Lesnar. And you've also still got Daniel Bryan winning. That's probably why they did it. But Brock Lesnar winning and defeating the streak killed the crowd for the rest of the night. It really did. It really did. The Divas match was going to get shot on anyway. It was going to get CM Punk chants anyway. CM Punk chants got all forgotten when the Undertaker streak was defeated. Because people just were still amazed. I'm still amazed a few hours later that the streak has been defeated. I really just can't comprehend the fact that the streak has been defeated. So the crowd were just all in awe that the fact that the streak had been defeated. The crowd were dead. They really weren't going to care for the next two matches, whatever happened. But this actual match, sorry, for Brock Lesnar against Undertaker, I'll give it a 7 out of 10. The match itself, the match quality was very poor. Worst WrestleMania Undertaker match I've seen in a good 5 to 6 years. The Divas Championship match between AJ Lee. Usually when the champion has all the odds stacked against her, then the champion usually comes out on top. Now, you needed somebody else to win here except AJ Lee. The Divas division is so dead that there's no competition whatsoever. So, it's a turning point. I said at the start, WrestleMania is your turning point in the year. It's your turning point in feuds. Put the Divas Championship on somebody new and open a branch. Open the doorway for any diva to challenge for the Divas Championship. AJ Lee being the Divas Champion, she's pretty much defeated anybody. But if you made anybody in this match the Divas Champion except AJ Lee, it really opens the Divas division. And opens it up. I mean, if AJ Lee was going to win here like she did, she's once again proven why she's the top diva and why she's defeated everybody. And she did. And that just proves how dead the Divas division is even more. You needed to give the Divas Championship to Tamina Snuka. How good would that feud have been? You could have created an AJ Lee and Tamina feud. But no, they gave the win to AJ Lee, which proves how even more the Divas division is dead. And, I mean, you could have given it to Brie Bella to make a power couple with Daniel Bryan. You could even have given it to Naomi, who, well, got a few wins over AJ Lee in the last few weeks. And the Divas division is even more dead because once again she's defeated all the Divas in one match. And I know they only care about the Total Divas in the Divas division, but surely it would be better if they gave the championship to a Total Diva than AJ Lee. They want to sell that show, give it to a Total Diva. And that still would open more doors in the Divas division than having AJ Lee once again the champion. We're bored of seeing her the champion. She really hasn't done anything fresh or new since she won at Payback. She's just cleared house. She's really just defeated diva after diva one by one. It's boring. We want a new champion. She's going all the way till Payback probably. And it's boring. We want a new Divas champion. Very disappointed that Naomi was the one that tapped out as well. She seemed like the only diva they've really built up in the last few weeks. And she's the one that took the submission? Really? Why couldn't they have... What? I mean, they could even have had Vicky Guerrero take the submission, but... They could have had... Natalya, who AJ Lee's already proven to get a win over in the past. Nikki Bella, Brie Bella, but Naomi, the one that they've really spent a few weeks building up, and for her to tap out... Maybe they're considering having Naomi versus AJ Lee at Extreme Rules, because at the end, AJ Lee made Naomi tap out by holding her hand and actually making a tap out. The referee didn't see that, and the commentators really didn't talk about it much. But that's what happened. Maybe that's what they're thinking, but then Naomi needed to take the loss? No, what they could have done was Naomi hit her finisher on one of the divas. AJ Lee tosses Naomi out the ring and then pins the diva that Naomi hit the finisher on. That would have been a good way to put Naomi over. That would have built her up even more, and that could have been a way to create AJ Lee versus Naomi Extreme Rules. But to have Naomi tap out, big shame. Really, really big shame. A loss she really didn't need to take when there's, what, 12 other divas in the ring she could have made tap out. The match itself was quite exciting. I mean, you've got 14 divas in there. They're bound to have a good, entertaining match. A lot of moves in here which were exciting. Some good spots. There was one spot where, well, nearly every diva seemed to pin another diva, and that was quite a funny spot. But really, you've got 14 divas in there. You can't really go wrong. There's really fast-paced, some good energy to the match, but AJ Lee winning, boring. We wanted a new Divas champion. It would have been a WrestleMania moment to save her. I mean, you've already had Cesaro win, which is a big moment. You've already had the Streak win, which is a big moment. You've also had John Cena win, which was quite unpredictable. You've had Daniel Bryan heading into the main event and then winning the championship. If we had a new Divas champion, that really would have crowned the night. I mean, what an iconic WrestleMania I've already talked about. But if we had a new Divas champion, this was the first time the Divas Championship was actually defended on the show. For staff, imagine if we had a new Divas champion. That could have been a good WrestleMania moment. But no, AJ Lee is still the boring Divas champion. She's not a boring champion, they just really haven't got anything to do with her because she's pretty much defeated every diva. Now, I'll give that match a 7 out of 10. I mean, it just felt like the fact that they wanted a Divas match, they didn't know what to do. It's WrestleMania 30, let's just get every diva in there and pretend it's special. Make people believe it's special because it's got every diva in there. When I much rather would have liked to see Naomi versus AJ Lee, instead of a clusterfuck, there was just way too many people in the match at the same time. But I'll give it a 7 out of 10. Now the last match, I'm nearly done here guys. Daniel Bryan wins and is the new WWE World Heavyweight Champion. Yes, he defeated Randy Orton and Batista to become your new WWE World Heavyweight Champion, the new WWE and World Heavyweight Champion. So, for a start, it puts him over because he's already in a second match. We know he can do it. He's done it so many times against the Wyatts where he's had multiple matches in one night. He did it on the last show before Raw in 2013, but doing it on the grand stage of the Mall WrestleMania 30, what a great way to put over Daniel Bryan. But yes, he did have time to recuperate, and did he have a good showing once again? He just looked like he didn't even have a match. I mean, earlier in the night, he just looked fresh. I mean, it was really phenomenal. Really, really phenomenal. I mean, this guy really is the real deal. And I was losing my way with Daniel Bryan. I thought, the fact that they kind of picked up on the yes movement, they've kind of started mentioning it, feels a bit fake and a bit forced. And I was kind of losing my way with Daniel Bryan. I was losing my excitement for the guy. I really wasn't genuinely getting behind the guy. I was just following the crowd and kind of hoping to get behind him once again. I really was getting a bit bored of him. I mean, we've seen him screwed so many times. I know it was a work. Everything in wrestling really is a work. But I really was getting sick and tired of it. I mean, I really was. I mean, I'm glad they saved it up until tonight, because that really was the moment. That was the special moment, WrestleMania 30. But I was tired of it before then, and I mean, it kind of dragged out a bit. I was kind of losing my way with Daniel Bryan, but tonight just proves that I really am still behind Daniel Bryan, because this was just special. It really was. I mean, he got Batista bombed, RKO'd through the announce table. Did you see that? Batista got him up for a powerbomb, and then Randy Orton RKO'd Daniel Bryan whilst he was getting Batista bombed. I mean, I've never seen a better move than that. I mean, I've seen a double suplex. I've never seen an RKO from a Batista bomb. I mean, freaking phenomenal. Really phenomenal move. And that really looked freaking painful, because he landed on the announce table flush, like Michael Cole says, on the floor. The stretcher came out, and you knew it was happening. He was going to strip himself from that stretcher and come back in the ring. But before that all happened, you've got to remember, it wasn't going to end without Triple H coming out. He came out in his hoodie looking pissed. And I got to say, guys, I forgot to mention that Triple H attacked Daniel Bryan at the end of his match at the start of the show. Stephanie McMahon came in the ring, they slapped Daniel Bryan, and then Triple H attacked Daniel Bryan and hit him with the chair once, like he did on Raw a few weeks ago. Now that really put over his heelish character, but also made you think, maybe Daniel Bryan's too injured to compete in that match. But obviously he wasn't. That was all part of the storyline. And Triple H once again came out during the actual main event. He got so much heat because we had in the back of our minds, maybe they're going to screw us one more time. Maybe they'll do it one more time. But they didn't. But that got him heat anyway. I mean, I was sat at home thinking, please don't have Batista win. Please don't have Randy Orton win. I was so into this match. Every time there was a close 2-fall, I was just hoping it wasn't 3. I really was. I was so into it. I was so bought on the fact that it was probably going to happen. But it didn't. Daniel Bryan won. And everything happened. He took out Triple H. He took out Stephanie McMahon. He took out the Sledgehammer. He defeated Batista. He defeated Randy Orton. He did his lifelong dream. He pretty much did it all in the space of half an hour. It really was a magical moment. I'm not sure where the authority comes from here. Are they defeated? Not for now. I'm not sure where they go. Will they appear on Raw tomorrow night? I'm not sure. But for now, the authority has been defeated by Daniel Bryan. And it really was that WrestleMania 30 moment all the fans wanted and deserved. And definitely what Daniel Bryan deserved. We knew it was coming from months ago. We just really wanted to see it. And it finally happened. Daniel Bryan, your new WWE World Heavyweight Champion. Now, the match itself, pretty good. I think this was probably stole the show for match of the night. Storyline-wise, the build-up, the superstars in it. I mean, it was a triple threat match. You can't go wrong. Randy Orton, the returning Batista, Daniel Bryan. You've got, what, 2 top heels in the company and, what, maybe the biggest face in the company. A triple threat match, the first WWE World Heavyweight Championship match at WrestleMania. You had Triple H appear, you had Stephanie McMahon, you had the Sledgehammer, a Batista bomb RKO. Daniel Bryan doing his lifelong dream and becoming a four-time WWE World Heavyweight Champion. Sorry, World Champion. Special all around, guys. The match itself was pretty good. I'm going to have to watch it again because really, I was kind of still surprised that the Streak got defeated. I think everybody was, really. I think it really sucked the life out of the show after the Streak got defeated. I mean, it really has been defeated. And the crowd were dead for that Daniel Bryan match. I mean, imagine if the Streak continued and the crowd were all happy. The crowd reaction would have been so much better in this triple threat match if the crowd hadn't witnessed the Streak being defeated. It would have been, what, 2 times better? They were dead for a lot of it. They really were. And if the Streak hadn't been defeated, they would have been way better. So I'm not really sure what the point of the Streak being defeated on the same night Daniel Bryan wins the WWE World Heavyweight Championship was. I mean, it surely was to create that top heel. It must have been. I mean, they must have known the reaction. I thought it would have been worse, to be honest. I knew it was going to be bad. It could have been a lot worse. But it sucked the energy out of the crowd so much. Did they really have to do it on the same show? That Daniel Bryan's yes movement really came strong. The strongest night ever, without a doubt, for Daniel Bryan. Did they really have to give Brock Lesnar that win on that night? I don't know, it really sucked the energy out of the main event, didn't it? And it was still a great moment, but it could have been a lot better if the crowd weren't pissed off and still surprised that the Streak had been defeated. It really definitely affected the reaction and the moment. The crowd was still amazed that the Streak was defeated, that still now, I'm more bothered about the Streak being defeated than your champion. And that's really saying something, isn't it? So, I'll give that match a 9 out of 10. Storytelling-wise, fantastic. Match quality-wise, fantastic. That RKO from a Batista bomb, fantastic. Then your new WWE World Heavyweight Champion, Daniel Bryan, fantastic. Yes, yes, yes. 9 out of 10. He deserves it, without a doubt. It's been going on since SummerSlam. We've all been waiting and praying it would happen. It certainly was that WrestleMania 30 match. Without a doubt, of course it was. It really, really was. WWE have done themselves justice by making Daniel Bryan the WWE World Heavyweight Champion. Wow. What a WrestleMania. Some great moments. Some moments we might want to forget. I'm not sure how it's going to go. Let's talk about the moments which I think made this WrestleMania one of my greatest WrestleManias I have watched live. Daniel Bryan defeating Triple H in a great match to start the show. What a great match to start a show. Hulk Hogan, The Rock and Stone Cold in the same ring at the same time. The Shield put themselves over so well by defeating Kane and the New Age Outlaws very, very fast. Cesaro cementing his new face turn by winning the 30 Superstar Andre the Giant Memorial Battle Royal. He wasn't even in it. He's got the whole world in his hands. That chant was fantastic. I'm not going to talk about the result, but you've got to talk about Brock Lesnar defeating the Streak. I really can't. It's fabulous. Like, I don't know if it's good or bad, but it's memorable. And that's what WrestleMania is all about. It's all about creating memories. It even said the Streak was going to be broken one day, and it has. Was Brock Lesnar the guy? We'll have to see, but that is one special moment. AJ Lee, disappointing, I won't talk about that. Daniel Bryan, your new WWE World Heavyweight Champion. Yes, yes, yes. Thanks for watching, guys. Hopefully you have in fact enjoyed the video. Take care, spike your hair, 21 and 1. I'll give this WrestleMania 30 show an 8 out of 10. I thought it was pretty good. Very special moments the whole way through the show. Hope you have in fact enjoyed the video. Take care, spike your hair, 21 and 1. Yes, yes, yes. To enter the competition to win the WWE Royal Rumble 2014 DVD or Blu-ray, you only have to do these 4 simple steps. 1. Like the video. 2. Subscribe to me on YouTube. 3. Follow me on Twitter. And 4. Comment DVD or Blu-ray.